Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build this really simple, resource friendly, super quick, point-to-point, two-way elevator. Now this elevator can get you from bedrock to Y256 in no time at all. And it can be built out of cobble if you want it to be. So let's see how it works. Now as you can see, I'm in survival. Can't break anything with my hands, and you can see my little hearts and everything and my XP at the bottom of the screen, so I could take damage if I decided to hurt myself. If I go over the trapdoor and into the elevator going up, it takes me up really quickly. Get to the top, the door automatically opens and I step out and I'm miles up in the air. Now because you're going up carbonated water, so to speak, the soul sand at the bottom turns the water into a bubble column. You don't take any drowning damage, any suffocation damage, so you can go from bedrock to 256 and not worry about holding your breath. And if you want to go back down again, you go over the pressure plate, through the door. Back down is even quicker. And as you can see, I didn't take any fall damage. It's brilliant, and that's because there's some water here. There's a sign with one block of water. That water is enough to break your fall so you don't take any fall damage when you get to the bottom. So I'm going to do it once more. Super quick. You can make this as pretty as you want it to be. I'm not a builder. I've just made mine look like a public toilet, if I'm being honest. But it's just as a demonstration, really, just to show you that this is just so easy to build. And you will never, ever take damage. So this is what you're going to need if you want to build it. You're going to need several stacks of your block of choice. We're using stone for this build, but obviously you can use any solid block that you want, and it depends on how high you want to go. You're going to need glass blocks if you want to see through the front of it. You're going to need at least 2 glass blocks for every level it goes up. So because we're going up 80 levels, we're probably going to need 160 pieces of glass. You're going to need 5 signs, and that's assuming that you want to put 2 signs at the bottom saying up and down and 2 signs at the top saying up and down, and then you'll need another sign to put the water source block on to stop you taking fall damage when you fall down the down chute. You're going to need 4 iron doors. Now you can use wooden doors if you want to, but you can open those without a pressure plate. So if you want to be able to do that, then use wooden doors. But if you want to use a pressure plate, then use iron doors. And you're going to need 4 pressure plates if you're using iron doors. And you're probably going to need a bit of lighting as well. We're using jack-o'-lanterns. Now you can place jack-o'-lanterns in mid-air. They've become much more useful. But you can use glowstone or sea lanterns if you want to. And if you're building this really high and you're not putting glass on the front of it, the inside shaft is going to be very dark. So you'll then probably want to put a bit of lighting every 10 or so blocks going up the inside of the shaft, but again that's entirely up to you. You're definitely going to need 1 piece of soul sand, and you're definitely going to need lots and lots of source blocks of water. Now as I mentioned, we're building this about 80 blocks high, so we're going to need about 80 source blocks. You can't use downward flowing water for this to work. It has to be source blocks. Now if you've got access to an ice farm, then using ice is a much easier way to do this. Much easier way, because you can't stack water buckets and you need a source block for every level, which means you're going to have to cart about 80 buckets of water. Now yes, you can make an infinite water source at the bottom or at the top, but that still means filling up your bucket, going back, filling up your bucket, going back, or having your entire inventory full of water buckets. So if you can, use ice. And you are going to need a couple of water buckets just in case. Now the build at the bottom has got a footprint of 5 by 3. Now when you're building the top level, the footprint is going to be 5 by 4, but for the bottom it's only 5 by 3. So get to the bottom and to wherever you want to build it, and then you need to determine which side you want going up and which side you want coming down. We're going to make the left hand side the up side. So you want to pop out the centre of your 5 by 3 area and put down your soul sand. Now take out your block of choice. It's time to start building the wall. So you need to build a wall around the outside of the perimeter of your footprint area like that, and then 2 blocks in the middle. So you've got something like that, a bit of an E, and then you want to put another layer on it, and then another one. Now you can put your door at the bottom. Now if you want the door hinged on the left hand side, you need to look at the left hand side of the block that you want to put it on. If you want the door hinged on the right hand side, you need to look at the right hand side block. So if I want the door hinged on the left, I look at the left and the hinges are on the left hand side of the door. If I wanted that to open on the right, I'd look at the right hand side of the door, and now the hinges are on the right hand side of the door. So it's just easy to decide what way you want the door to open. It'll still open inwards, but it's now hinged on the left hand side. Now before we put the door on the right hand side, we just want to get inside and put down a pressure plate. That's obviously going to open the door when you come down. Then you want to take out your sign, and you need to put a sign just there, face height. Then you need to put your solid blocks above your doors like that. And then take out your water, and you need to put a water source block just there. So it's just above your head. It's the 3rd block up. Now you can put your door down, hinged on the right, like that. Now that's the bottom done for now. Now it's time to start building the column up to the level that you want it to go to. So you want to get up onto the top. Now if you're in survival, and you probably will be in survival building an elevator, if you're in creative you'd just be flying about, wouldn't you? So if you're in survival, you'll probably need to build this up in layers. So do a layer like that, and then you're going to need to throw down a couple of bits of glass, and then another layer, and then your glass, and so on and so forth. There's no point in going all the way up with one block and then having to jump down 80 blocks and giving yourself damage. So just be careful and sensible when you're building this up to the level that you want it to go to. Now if you did want to put lighting going up and down the shafts, this is the time to do it. It's going to be impossible to do once this is filled with water and the soul sand is at the bottom. And likewise, when you walk into the downward chute, you pretty much aren't going to be able to stop until you hit the ground. So if you want lighting in the columns, this is the time to put it in. Now once you've got up to the height that you want to get to, you want to come out over the front. So crouch and look over. This is the front. You want to build out a platform that is 4 by 5, so it's 5 wide by 4 deep, and this is going to be the footprint to your top hut, to this top section of your elevator. So you'll probably also just want to build out around the sides of it just to give yourself a little bit of walking room. Like that. And then you want to make yourself pretty much the same as you did down the bottom. You need to build a wall, but this one you need to build it 4 by 5 and not 3 by 5, and put the wall in the middle. So again, it's an E, it's just a slightly longer E, and you want to do that 3 high. And then you'll probably just want to make the platform just a little bit bigger. You don't want to be falling off, certainly if you're really high up. So now you've got something that looks like that. Now before we put the doors on, you've got to remember which side is up. Left is our up side. So in the up side, you need to put a pressure plate just there. That's going to open the door when you get to the top. And on the downside, you want to put a pressure plate on the outside. That's going to open the door when you're going down. And then above the column, you probably want to put yourself down a little bit of lighting. And then you can cover that with your block of choice. In our case, it's stone. And then you can put down your doors. Again, hinged on whatever side you want them to be hinged on. And unless you want to make it really pretty, that's now done. Now to get down, really straightforward, and making sure that you have put the water at the bottom to start with, you just walk through this trapdoor, walk through this iron door, and then drop down. And you're at the bottom. So now you're at the bottom, it's time to put the water in for the upside of the elevator. So just grab your final pressure plate, stick your pressure plate there so the door opens when you go in. Then you want to grab yourself your ice. Now this is where ice comes into its own, and it is so much better than having water. If you have water, you're going to have to remove the door, and then you're going to have to put down a water source block, then go and get some more water. Or as I said, fill your inventory full of as many water buckets as you can carry, and then fill upwards to the top. But we're going to use ice because it is so much simpler. So grab yourself all of your ice, enough ice to get all the way to the top, and then get into this side and then just fill it with ice. Now some of the ice blocks will turn to source blocks of water because we've got jack-o'-lanterns in there. If you haven't put any lighting in there, then that won't happen, but it's not a problem. Now just get yourself out and then back down to the bottom again. Take out your trusty pick. I'm just going to go into survival to do this. Then go back in the upside and you can break the ice into water, and because it's now on top of the soul sand, it's now a bubble column, it's now carbonated, so you won't drown when you go inside it. So then just get inside and you'll automatically be forced upwards, and then just look up and start breaking the glass. If you've got a decent pick, this won't take that long. If you try to do this by hand, it probably will take you quite a while. And then once you get to the top, just walk out. Now the reason for doing it from the bottom up and not from the top down is because we're quite high up, and if you're trying to break ice which turns into water and then go down, you'll straight away start suffocating, and eventually you'll start taking drowning damage. So it's just easier coming from the bottom up, although it is a little bit longer. Then grab yourself a couple of signs. You can put up and down on them. And that is pretty much your elevator completed. Unless you want to make it look really nice. So that's how to build a really simple, resource friendly, super quick elevator in Minecraft 1.13. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, everybody. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like, and if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future tutorials. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.